Good evening, guys. Thank you for joining us today in the third session of Exposure to Industries. A famous Seth Godin's quote says, "If it scares you, it might be a good thing to try." Following your dreams and taking risks has always been talked about. But how does it feel to have actually done it? Let's listen to our speaker, Ashish Ranjan, as he narrates his story and experiences as a former ISRO and BARC scientist, a personality coach, a YouTuber, and a lot more. May his success story be an inspiration to us all. I welcome him to take over.
All right. 1 second. Let me just set it up completely. Okay. We are here.
Sir, you're not audible.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll have to unmute myself. Okay. Thank you for that fine introduction. Fine, crisp, and brief. I'm going to take over from now on. So, around a month ago, people from TAKSHAK team approached me to talk about a topic which was very fascinating. Actually, the mail that I got was specifically from Hiba, and I really admire the kind of mail that they sent me, talking about why they want specifically me to come over here and talk about the topic of discussion. They gave me a topic called Fortune Favors the Brave, and also told me that the theme of TAKSHAK this year is going to be Ctrl Z, that is undo. So I'm going to talk about all those things that I relate with very much, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys might not be having the perspective that I'm having right now, but I'll do my best to share whatever I've learned so far. I'm 26 years old, and if you ask me, Ashish, introduce yourself, I'll say that I'm an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer, to be specific. I graduated in the year 2016. After that, I worked in organizations like Bhabha Atomic Research Center and Indian Space Research Organization. I've left my last job, that is Indian Space Research Organization, in January 31st, 2020, when I was 25 years old. And so far, for the last 1 year, I've been running personality development courses, doing a lot of things on YouTube, running 5 different podcasts. It is going to take a while for me to introduce myself properly, but the thing is that I can introduce myself using the topic of discussion today by talking about a little bit of my story so that you get a brief idea, sticking to the topic of discussion, that is Fortune Favors the Brave. So when I heard that I have to talk about this topic, then I thought that this is a cliche topic. Fortune favors the brave. I'm sure that most of you guys have been listening to this quote for as long as you can remember. It has been said so many times that it almost starts to lose its own value. So all you have to do to understand it is break it down into the 2 most pivotal words, that is fortune and brave. Most people don't really understand the meaning of that. But before we do that, let us talk about a fine little story where I first heard about this quote. So we were in 7th standard. I was in school, and we were all like 13, 14 years old, most likely 12 to 13 years old. And our English teacher was also our class teacher, a brilliant person. She always used to come up with quotes to motivate us, give us good knowledge. And this is what she wrote on the blackboard: Fortune favors the brave. Unfortunately, one of my classmates became too brave and went over there to try something which he thought was funny. Well, I do not know if it is going to be funny for you. Comment section is always open for you guys, I guess. Let me know. He went over there and removed the VE out of the brave. We all laughed a lot until the class teacher came back to the class. Bad news for that classmate was that the class monitor was actually the daughter of the teacher, and she acted like a snitch, went out there and told exactly who did it. Don't worry, I was not the one who did it, but the person who did it got slapped continuously for 5 minutes. At the end of that, his face turned into red tomato, wet because he was continuously crying till the moment the class ended at that day. Well, maybe he should not have been that brave, but that was the first experience when I was introduced to this quote, Fortune favors the brave. I do not know if it is funny for undergraduates or not, but it is much better than the memory it serves by those cliche quotes that everyone says, that some of the quotes are said too many times that it loses its value. Some people say that you should take risk and you will always get rewarded. Some people say that you should work hard and you'll get success in your life. Some people say that you should think differently and you'll find a better life. Well, these things have been said too many times for people to start thinking that, is there any truth in this? Kind of like religion, that you are told what to do, but you have not been introduced to the reason why you should be doing what you are told to do. All right. But I firmly believe that this quote means a lot, and this is a quote that you should live by. Don't worry, we are also going to come to the idea of your whole TAKSHAK program, that is Ctrl Z, the undo one. That is also very important. I recently did a podcast with a person who dropped out in second year to become a professional photographer. He's doing brilliantly right now. But what he did to a huge extent was Ctrl Z. Everyone told him that you should do engineering. And when he did engineering, he found out that this is the only place he does not want to be at. And all he did is press Ctrl Z, walked out, never looked back, became pretty successful right now, still climbing the ladder, but this is his own ladder, not the ladder what the world has told him to climb. All right, coming back to the topic, fortune favors the brave. Two very pivotal words over here. Number one, fortune. Do we have the comment section on? Can the participants over here contribute to the conversation? Because I've taken most of the seminars offline until the COVID situation started. I have always taken offline seminars, and there I can actually see the faces, and I'm not able to even see the live faces of your students. I would love that some of you guys will turn on your camera. I always love to see the reaction, but this is the new world we are living at. It is completely up to you. But if you want to put something down, I don't know if the participants can do that, but the comment section is on for me. All right, anyways, fortune and brave. So what does fortune stand for? Well, most people think that fortune stands for luck. Fortunate person is a very lucky person. But if you look at the dictionary meaning of fortune, there's going to be two different meanings. Number one, fortune stands for luck. Yes, that is true. Second one is wealth. And that is why there are Fortune 500 companies. It is not Fortune 500 companies because they are the luckiest 500 companies. They are Fortune 500 company because they are the wealthiest companies. The second meaning is what most of you guys will be getting instinctively, is luck. But either way, the good thing is that fortune stands for something good. Or you can say that good thing happens to those who do things bravely. There's another quote, good thing happens to those who wait. Patience is another characteristic that a lot of us lack. A lot of us can improve upon it. But anyways, coming back to fortune. Fortune over here definitely means something good, which is wealth. What does brave stand for? Brave, you'll have to think about it. And I don't like to think about the English words because we were not designed to do that. We studied the language of English. So all I can do is look at the dictionary meaning of brave. Brave stands for having the capability of doing something which is dangerous. The soldiers are very brave. Why? Because they risk their life for their country. Whoa, that's an important word over here. Risk their life. Risk itself is something that you should pay attention towards. What is risk? Now, risk can be of many types. Some people just believe in taking risk, going head first without thinking. And some people take risk which is calculated risk. All right, we are going to talk more about that as well. But before that, coming back to the point that you might not still be knowing who I exactly am. And as I promised, I'm going to explain that using my own life story, the story so far. Like I said, I'm only 26, so I have not reached that profound knowledge. I've not gone to Himalayas and sat over there for 30 years to understand the true meaning of life. But so far, what I've understood, I'm going to talk about that. So, I'm going to talk about the 3 risks that I've taken in my life. All right. Going back to class 12, I was not really a very good student. I was an okay student. Matter of fact, I failed in physics in class 11, got somewhere around 61 marks in physics in final 12th board, out of which somewhere around 29 came from my practicals only. You guys have all gone through senior secondary, you know how it goes in CBSE board. In mathematics, I got 53. I was not a very bright student. I never cared about studying. I was a lot into martial arts, which is one of the skill that I'm having right now. At that time in class 12th, I was a purple belt, I think. When I got into college, I continued that and achieved a black belt. But when I got into college, science and technology really fascinated me. It really did. Before that, I was not understanding why people actually study because I was not seeing the practicality of anything that I was studying. But when I got into college, that was the first thing that was introduced to me, that things that you study are around you, right? So I got very interested and specifically very interested towards mechanical engineering. Actually, I got admission in the college with a course of information and technology. And in the first year when I got into college, I was so fascinated by mechanical engineering that I made it as a mission that I'm going to turn my branch into mechanical engineering, even though at that time also most people were saying that, see, what you need to do is take computer science engineering or electronics and communication engineering because it is having the maximum amount of placements. Well, they were not that wrong. I'm going to talk about more about that a little bit later. But I decided, listen, I am interested in mechanical engineering. I'm going to study mechanical engineering. And if only one person gets placed in mechanical engineering, that person would be me because I'm going to be working the hardest. By the way, that is what the world told me. If you want to become successful, you have to work very hard. Well, that is partially true. And like people say, partial knowledge is more dangerous than no knowledge. But partial knowledge is somewhere you can start from. All right. Long story short, I started working very hard, got a CGPA of 9.57 and a bronze medal when I graduated from my college. Now that was very surprising for a person who never got any academic victories or any academic wins whatsoever so far. But that was the first one for me. Very soon I found out that I was going to graduate with a bronze medal and no placements. I was rejected from 5 different companies. I was rejected from TCS. TCS basically rejected my whole college. That is another story, but I'm not going to discuss that over here. Blacklisted my college in short. Wipro rejected me. Capgemini rejected me. Dell rejected me. And Wells Fargo rejected me. These 5 companies rejected me. I got selected in the interview of Indian Army, got called for SSB, but unfortunately the dates of SSB and my GATE 2016 examination collided. And at that time, I was very sure that I want to grow my career in technical field. So I decided to give GATE examination with full effort in 2016. My objective at that time to get into IIT Bombay because I wanted to study design. With the small amount of knowledge that I had at that time, I was not even knowing that BARC and ISRO existed. A lot of you guys who knows it, just understand this, that you are smarter than me. I was not aware that BARC and ISRO even exist. Yes, ISRO, I've heard the name, obviously, but I did not even know that how people get selected over there. I thought that PhD people get selected becoming scientists over there. I couldn't be much more wrong than that. All right, studied very hard for GATE examination, wanted to get into IIT Bombay, knew that I had to reach a rank under 100 to be over there, worked extremely hard for that. By the end of 6th semester, I knew very clearly that the CGPA is not going to help me much and focused 1 year completely towards GATE. I ultimately got a rank which is slightly far away from a rank under 100. That is a rank of 9008. Not really slightly. That rank is useless. It is only useful for you to have sufficient confidence to leave the one job that you are having and drop another year again running for the same goal. So I did not get any campus placement, but because of my internship, I got a contract basis job. They decided to pay me 16,000 every month. It was a contract basis, no medical benefits. You have to work 6 days a week. You have to work 12 hours a day. And I was not okay with that. I honestly believe that I could have done better. That job basically was on the basis of computer-aided designing. I had learned a lot of designing softwares as well. And when I went over there for the 4-month internship, they said that you're pretty good at that. How about you work for us? And I said that no, I'm going to prepare for the same goal again. I went to Delhi, joined a coaching institute. Back then, the coaching institutes used to be different, offline, not what we are having right now. But different times, but the same competition. Prepared 1 year relentlessly for GATE examination again. now finally knowing that there are other examinations as well, like BARC examination and ISRO examination, prepared very well. But the point being that the first risk of my life was leaving that contract basis job and going again for what I thought was my goal. That is the first risk of my life. Pretty soon you are going to be introduced to the second risk as well. But risk is basically taking 2 steps backward and believing that you can take a longer leap in the forward direction if you do that. So I did take 2 steps backward. By the time I was done with my preparation after 1 year, a lot of people, a lot of my friends who joined jobs like TCS, Capgemini were almost at a stage where they are getting hikes. Their training is completed. They're finally posted in the location. But I was still to open the bank account to get my first salary. All right. On top of all that, GATE 2017 also did not go that well. I again missed the under 100 ranks slightly. I got a rank of 1825 this time. And I knew that this is not that much sufficient, but there are other examinations as well. By now, I was very firm that I want to get into Indian Space Research Organization. I knew very well that graduates do get over there with a post of scientist. And I was preparing for that. The ISRO examination is a separate examination from GATE examination. It comes under ICRB, ISRO Central Recruitment Board. And the notification came somewhere around February of 2017. The examination was supposed to be in May 2017. I did that. I filled the form. After GATE examination, I also filled 2 other forms, that is CIL 2017 and BARC, that is Bhabha Atomic Research Center 2017. GATE examination was kind of proving again useless for me. There was no job calls from that GATE score. I got some of the job calls from IIT Bombay, sorry, not job calls, call for masters from IIT Bombay for MS 3 years program. But that is going to be, the selection process is going to be somewhere in July. So I continued on preparing for BARC and ISRO. I could not crack the ISRO examination in the first attempt. I failed in doing that. The cutoff was 139 and I got marks of 111, very far away. But the good thing is that I was able to crack the written test of BARC and I got into BARC. Now again, I got into BARC because I needed a job. I was a dropout after 1 year of my college. I've stayed unemployed for 1 year and I could not afford being unemployed anymore. So obviously I'm going to take that job. On top of that, it is a government job. On top of that, it is a research profile job, something that fascinates me. So I did that, and then I did another thing, that I did not let go of my goal of getting into Indian Space Research Organization. Another thing that you might be noticing over here, that goals do change over time, because you learn more about life and you learn more about what you really want. So back in 2015, my goal was getting into IIT Bombay. In 2017, my goal changed into getting into ISRO. You are going to see very soon that the goals change again after I get into ISRO. Spoiler alert. Now, IIT Bombay, I did get selected in IIT Bombay also for that MS program in 2017 series only. But what happened is that I did not join it because I found out that Bhabha Atomic Research Center is a research profile job in nuclear science and engineering. And let us go over there and do nothing else than prepare for Indian Space Research Organization again. It was difficult because it is not an easy task just qualifying and passing in the examination of Bhabha Atomic Research Center, because you're not the only one brilliant over there. Matter of fact, everyone else who has joined over there is just as brilliant as you, if not more. So it is difficult to survive over there. On top of that, there's a ranking system in BARC training school. The person with rank 1 is going to get the most number of option of the final placement. Getting into BARC training school has nothing to do with your final posting and position as a permanent employee of Department of Atomic Energy. You'll have to prove your worth for 1 year over there through the examinations, the semester examinations, the viva, the assignments. Goes the same routine that you guys are going through in your colleges. It's 1 more year of college. All right. So I knew very well that I'm not going to deal with the colleges, BARC training school regiment and preparation of Indian Space Research Organization. So I decided to just pass in BARC training school so that I keep the job in the worst case scenario. I'm going to get the worst posting, I know that, but if everything goes well, I'm going to leave BARC as well. So I kept that to the passing border, and I kept on working on ISRO. Now this, my friends, is the second risk of my life. I risked what I had in my hand to run and leave for what I wanted in my life. I risked the BARC training school. I decided that I'm going to be last no matter, it does not matter to me, but I'm going to run for ISRO. A lot of other colleagues of mine at that time also wanted to get into ISRO, but they were not able to take this risk. They said that, okay, afterwards, after I get the posting, I'm going to see what happens, and we all know what happens in future. They all got very comfortable with their jobs. I never got comfortable. I also believe in this: be comfortable in uncomfortable and uncomfortable in incomfortable. A lot of you guys thought, oh, Ashish just said 4 times comfortable. It is much more deeper in that. Think about it. Let me see if someone can talk about it at the end of the talk. Be comfortable in uncomfortable and uncomfortable in comfortable. All right, coming back to the point. The second risk of my life, I risked the BARC posting to try for ISRO. Once again, taking 2 steps backward to take a big leap. There was an examination of Indian Space Research Organization ICRB again in 2017 December. I tried very hard for that. The cutoff this time was 120. The paper was extremely difficult and also different than the previous patterns. And this time I was really very slightly off. I got 116 marks. That is 4 marks away from the cutoff. That is 1 question away from the cutoff. And 1 question basically because every question carries 3 marks and a negative question carries -1 marks. So -1, -3, 4 marks away from the cutoff. I did not crack it. But fortunately, again, fortune favors the brave. Maybe fortune actually stands for luck. There's another notification of ISRO in February. And this time the examination is going to be in April 2018. And I prepared again very hard for that. Every time an ISRO notification used to come, I was the happiest person on this planet. I felt it is almost like I cracked that examination. Why? Because I'm that person that loves opportunity. If you give me opportunity, that is all I need. And that is why I was super happy. Another reason why I was super happy is because I actually cracked this examination. The third attempt to get into Indian Space Research Organization in April 2018. The cutoff this time was 185 marks and I got a marks of 195. I scored a rank of 85 in written test. And the next round is interview and I did brilliantly over there. I got a rank of 4, All India rank of 4 in Indian Space Research Organization 2018 when it comes to mechanical engineering. And what else to do now? I just dropped the resignation letter in Department of Atomic Energy and jumped off to Indian Space Research Organization. The second risk and the first risk worked in my favor to a huge extent. Now I'm going to talk about the third risk of my life. January 31st, 2020, I left my job from the scientist post of Indian Space Research Organization. Why would I do that? 2 failures, still not giving up, and then you finally make it and you leave that job in 16 months. Well, I was in a situation where I was kind of addicted to this risk-taking ability, and this was going to be one of the biggest risks of my life. Most people leave their government jobs because they get some other government job, like I got in 2018. A lot other leave their government job because they want to start teaching in a coaching institute. I left the government job because I wanted to start a course on public speaking, on personality development, on spoken English. I wanted to do a lot of things. I had fallen in love with taking seminars, talking to a bunch of people. By the way, during my time in Indian Space Research Organization, I've taken 7 seminars throughout the country. I've taken seminars in Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. Been in a lot of places, but I wanted to do a lot more. I planned to leave my job and do seminars throughout the country. Matter of fact, a lot of seats were booked right in February when I had left the job. A lot of seminars were booked, tickets were sold in Hyderabad, in Delhi, in Bangalore. Bangalore was right there, going to happen in 2 weeks. And we all know what happened, the COVID situation. That is why people tell you not to take risk. What if something unexpected happens? A lot of you guys might not be that good at history. Fortunately, I am very fascinated with history. But few people will be over here who has not heard the name of a guy with a silly mustache. Hitler. Hitler attacked almost every part of Europe in 1940s. But when he started the attack, he would have never thought that Japan is going to drop a bomb on Pearl Harbor and it is going to drag America into the war. There are a lot of things unexpected in this world and you cannot predict for everything. I'm not comparing myself to Hitler, nor do I want to, but there are a lot of things that you cannot foresee no matter what you do. Anyone who thinks that in 2019 you were knowing that 2020 COVID situation is going to happen, please let me know in the comment section. Nobody knew it. Nobody knew what is going to happen. Nobody was even thinking that something like this can happen. When people ask me that what if things go wrong, I said that what is worse that can happen? Recession, World War III, what can happen? In that situation also, I was never thinking that something like lockdown would happen. And lockdown, what essentially it means is that you cannot have seminars, brother. You cannot go and have meetings and conferences. So my plan for what I left the job, it stopped. But what I did is improvise. So you have been very well aware of all the 3 risks of my life. The first risk was me leaving that first job that I was getting after the college. I left that job to prepare for GATE 2017 examination. Failed miserably in that. So you can say that the first risk itself was a mistake. But then I got into BARC 2017. So you can say that that risk was not that bad. Then the second risk of risking my BARC training school in 2017. And then you can say that you failed in ISRO 2017 December examination. So you can say that the second risk was not actually that helpful for you either, Ashish. But then I got selected in ISRO 2018. And a lot of you guys will be agreeing that that risk was also good. And then you might say that your mistake was leaving ISRO. That risk also did not play off because COVID happened and now you can't do seminars. And I'll be saying that, yeah, but COVID situation will pass off. And meanwhile, I was doing a lot of seminars offline. One being the one I'm right now. So no matter what happens, you can always find a way out. Here's the thing about risk. And here's the thing about bravery. Here are 2 cliffs. All right. And in between, there is hell. All right. You are standing in this cliff, which will be right for you guys, most likely. And you are going to jump off to the other cliff. This is what we call the leap of faith. And it is called the leap of faith for a reason, because you have to have huge amount of faith because things do not really seem logical over there. Here's a very logical thing about leap of faith. Once you have left the first cliff, once you have jumped off towards the second cliff, you are not going to come back. It is going to be very clear from the laws of physics. You guys are all ingenious. You guys have gone through the Newton's laws of motion. You guys must have studied projectile motion. And you guys might be knowing that even if there's a slightest amount of horizontal velocity, you are not going to stand exactly where you were standing before you jumped off. So what I'm saying is the moment you have jumped off from the cliff of safety, you're never going to come back. But what about, am I going to reach to the second cliff? That is doubtful. Some would say highly doubtful. Some would say very less probable. Why would you do that? Why would you do that when your chances of success is very low? Well, the world says that if you jump from one cliff, your chances of reaching the next cliff is very low. And if you fall, you are going straight to hell. Your life is going to turn to hell. I do not know about what the world says. I also do not know whether the people who are saying this have actually experienced taking leap of faith. All I know is that so far, I've done at least 3 times. And matter of fact, after leaving ISRO, I've done it multiple times, probably more than I've done in the rest of the 6 years. I've done it a lot of times, but somehow or the other, the risk always works out for me. Why is that? I think it is the thing of mentality. I've shown that in all the 3 risks that I've taken, it can turn positive also, it can turn negative also. It can first turn into negative and then you can keep on working to turn it into positive. It is completely up to you. What if I tell you that the same thing that the world says is very less probable is actually wrong and there's 100% chance of success? How can I make this very less probable thing into 100% success? We make that with the mentality. And that you can do with two things. Whenever you take risk in your life, you have to remember two things. Number one, you have to stay positive. There's not going to be a lot of people in this world who is going to tell you that you can make it happen. Matter of fact, you are lucky if you have even one. In my life, I had two. So the last risk that I take, that is leaving ISRO, is 2 steps backward. And I still have to prove that that is going to be turned into a long jump. But so far, I do not need any more proof that I have from my own life experiences. So the first thing that you have to remember is that you have to be positive. All right, you have to be positive. What does that mean? You have to motivate yourself. Nobody else is going to do that for you. There's going to be n number of things telling you that you cannot do it. But there's only going to be one person who is going to be telling you continuously that you can do it, because this is the objective that we started all the procedure with. And you have to be that voice. You cannot be relying to someone else to be that voice. All right. What is the second thing, Ashish? The second thing I've already discussed. That is the adaptive nature. You have to adapt to the situation. Whatever happens, you will never be able to find out all the difficulties that you are going to face. It is a struggle, it is a journey. You are going to be introduced to new difficulties. That is why it is said that if you embark on this journey, you are going to learn a lot in the shortest amount of time. You're going to fail a lot. You're going to understand that failure is not that big of a deal. You are going to understand that failure and victory are not that different. Both are actually same. Both can be categorized in the same category, and that is experience. And what experience does, always, is experience teaches you. And those are few experience that you won't be having unless you embark on your own journey and started making your own path. So while you're doing that, while you're experiencing whatever life experience is thrown at you, that is going to be 100% unique for you. It is unique for you. It happened to you and will only happen to you because you had a set of past and you want a set of future that is unique. You succumb to your uniqueness and you got unique situations. You deal with that, you gain experience. And that you are only going to do once you adapt. And there is always a way out. No matter what, there is always a way out. You might be feeling that, okay, I'm at rock bottom, I'm at the corner, there's no way out. But those are the situations where you will be forced to find a way out. Because above all, what the humans love to do is live. And struggle in the survival instinct is also something which is very beautiful and won't be witnessed by those who love comfort. So the second thing that you have to do is learn to adapt, and that you will be only able to do if you start doing that. Start learning from the life experiences. The more you do, the better you get at it. It is as simple as that. The fortune favors the brave is as simple as that. All right. So when I left Indian Space Research Organization, there were only 2 people who said that yes, you can do it. Everyone else to whom I told the plan that I want to start a personality development course and I want to do seminars throughout the countries, throughout the world, everyone said that is crazy, nuts. What is your roadmap? What is your plan? And I said that this is my plan, that I have an audience. I should start like this. You guys might be knowing that I'm running a YouTube channel, 3 different YouTube channels and all. I said that I'm having an audience. I'm having this skill. I think that it is unique. And they said, no, it does not work like that. I said that, have you ever tried to make it work like that? No, it does not matter. But that's what the world says. It does not work like that. And there were only 2 people who said that, go ahead, do it. I believe in you. One of those 2 people was my mother. And that is what she always used to say. Sometimes to take a leap, a huge leap, you have to take 2 steps backward. Sometimes you have to take 2 steps backward to go for a big leap. And that is what I'm doing right now. All right, guys. So can we have a little interaction? And some of you guys can tell me, what did I actually mean by being comfortable in uncomfortable and uncomfortable in comfortable? Can I have a little bit of interaction? Because I've been speaking for the last half an hour and I have a good amount of audience. I cannot believe that over 50 people are continuously listening. Anyone? Yes. Nayan raised a hand. Can Nayan talk over here? Please, the organizers, let him talk. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Nayan. Is it? No. It is Naina. Yeah, sorry. Please go ahead, unmute yourself. I'd love to talk to you.
The session was very nice.
All right. Anything else? You have an idea of what I meant by that 4 comforts? Anyone who is having a question? Most welcome. The session should be interactive. Now, a lot of you guys have been listening continuously to me for half an hour. Can someone contribute over here? Any ideas? Any suggestions?
How was your life in ISRO? How was your life in ISRO?
How was my life in ISRO? My life in ISRO was amazing. ISRO was a dream come true. And in a lot of situations, I could not believe my eyes that I'm actually standing where I planned to stand for a long time. A lot of people in this world says that you have a goal, you are running for it for a long time, and when you reach that goal, you are going to be disappointed. And some people in this world say that there's a goal, and when you reach over there, you are going to be overjoyed. You are going to find much more than what you were expecting. Funny enough, when I talk to different people, the second category is always those who have actually achieved what they wanted to do. And the first category is always the ones who never tried doing what they wanted to do. For me, ISRO was a dream come true. It was a series of experiences, nerve-wracking, giving me high amount of goosebumps. And I loved each and every part of it. I loved each and every part where I was able to learn about rocket science from the best scientists of this world. I loved those experiences where I was able to listen to people who are 85 right now, has been there in Indian Space Research Organization since the birth of ISRO. When ISRO was not even ISRO, when Vikram Sarabhai started it, has won Padma Shri awards and done stupendously good work for the country. Has worked in BARC, ISRO, DRDO, all the places. I was just fascinated by being in that place, and each and every experience over there was monumental for me. Yes, so I would say that ISRO is always going to satisfy you, at least for a year. More than that, after that, I wanted something more to be satisfied. Yes, satisfied with the answer, by the way?
Yes.
All right. See, guys, I'm open to suggestions. I'm open to opinions. I'm open even if you guys are contradicting me. Say, Ashish, you are wrong. How about that? How about that? Where you are not talking about that. What about that? Let's talk about that. I love it when people argue with me. I love it. And like I said, I'm not 100% correct. Yeah, sorry. Please repeat. Please repeat, Gurram. I think that's your name. Please repeat. I'm only able to hear YouTube channel. What is the full question?
Yeah, name, YouTube channel.
Okay, you do not know. It is TORQ4712, Talk 4712. And the other YouTube channel goes by the name of Ashish Ranjan itself. The third YouTube channel goes by the name of Talk Talks. The first YouTube channel is on careers, where I talk about how to become an ISRO scientist or how to become a BARC scientist, how to crack examinations and all. The second YouTube channel, Ashish Ranjan, is on personality development, where I talk about speaking skills, where I also talk about rocket science, and I talk about few of the past life experiences. Okay, all right. Any suggestions? Are the organizers over here? Do you have something to add, or should I keep on going with the 4 comfortables? All right, subscribed. All right, that was fast. Welcome to the club. All right, no, I'm having some questions over here. There's a question by Treya Jyothinath. Okay, I know that this college is in Kerala. Yes, so I was in Kerala for a long time. I was posted in ISRO Propulsion Complex, which is in Mahindagiri. There is a city called Nagarkoil, you might be knowing, that is in the border of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. My 2 months training program was in VSSC, that is in Trivandrum. Love the city. Okay, that one should be comfortable doing new things we are normally not comfortable doing. Is that what you mean? All right, let us get into it. You guys might be interested in knowing. See, this is not my quote. I stole it. I stole it from Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is a mixed martial artist, and very few people might be knowing about it, but yeah, he's the person I admire a lot because I'm from a martial art background as well. Okay, let us get into it. Being comfortable in uncomfortable is a very rare characteristic. Most people succumb to pressure, and that is what you're going to face on the days of your interviews, on that one important day of the examination, on whenever you are going to have a big meeting from a big client. Whatever you are going to do in life, you are going to feel the pressure. I felt that pressure every time I walked into those seminars, and then that pressure faded away over time because I went comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. I faced those pressure when I was appearing for ISRO examination. I ruined a lot of examination because of that pressure, and I've failed more in dealing with pressure than I've succeeded. But because of those failures, I learned more and more about dealing with pressure. And before this seminar also, before this talk also, I was feeling pressure. What am I going to talk about? As you might be knowing, I'm not having any script. There is no script over here. Nothing is planned. This is how I do most of my talk, and I run a personality development course. It is now more specifically towards speaking skill. It is called Art of Speaking, and if I ended up speaking garbage, then who is going to come to my course for what I left the job of Indian Space Research Organization? So obviously that creates a pressure, but I believe that every pressure can be learned to handle. Pressure is like fire. You have to learn how to deal with it. So fire can cook your food or it can burn your house down, but you'll have to learn how to deal with it. So you'll have to become comfortable in uncomfortable. Those uncomfortable scenarios where high pressure is there, that is when you need to learn how to play with that fire. And trust me, the more you do, the better you become at it. And some people never become better at it because they go head first into it with a negative attitude that I'll never be able to do it. This is how I'm built, and I don't think that I'm having that capability. And that is the first point of doing anything good in your life, that is being positive. Learn how to deal with it. Learn how to deal with this new kind of circumstance, which is very, very important. The person who is going to be responsible for the launch of ISRO rockets, that is also, let us say, mission director, is going to have high amount of pressure. That person is responsible for lot of assets of the country. That person has to deal with high amount of pressure. The chairman of that organization has to deal with high amount of pressure, has to take those decisions in maybe sometimes fraction of seconds. That is what you have to become comfortable at, no matter what you do. You can get a job, you can start a company, you can become a teacher, whatever you do, you have to become comfortable in those uncomfortable situations. And that is what I meant by being comfortable with uncomfortable. Clear? Now let us get into the second point. Being uncomfortable in comfortable. What does that mean? Someone who can suggest? Tell me. Okay, I'm going to count to 3. Yes, go ahead.
We should not be happy with getting success.
Yes, that is true. That is very true to a huge extent. See, a lot of people think that you can only learn from your failures. That could not be much more wrong. You can learn from your success also. The positions or the places where you succeeded, you did not do everything right. You just did things right enough to some point so that it can give you success, right? But in that situation also, you made mistakes, right? In ISRO, third attempt of ISRO written test, I did make mistakes, right? Otherwise, why did I get a rank of 85? I would have gotten a rank of 1, or I would have gotten 100% of the marks. I did make mistakes over there as well. And those are the things that you can learn from. You understand? Okay, so if you're winning, everything is going good, don't become comfortable, man. Don't start lying around. Don't forget what made you so great. Don't forget the fire that was under your belly. And I think that is the one thing that I was able to do better than anyone. After getting a job into BARC, I was not comfortable. I wanted what I wanted, and I had the same fire of getting into ISRO that I had before I got into BARC. Even after I got into BARC, even after I knew that this is a permanent job, I'm going to get a gazetted officer post, but I remained uncomfortable. And even after I got into Indian Space Research Organization, there is no job in this country which is more respectable than a job of a scientist in ISRO. I don't think that anyone can argue with that. There can be other jobs which are equally respected, but there are none which are more. I could have easily gotten comfortable over there. But I decided that let us do something on my own. Let us not let this talent go to vain. And that is the reason why I'm talking to you guys today. Otherwise, this might not have happened. I still continue on studying rocket science. Do it on a daily basis. Matter of fact, yesterday only I made a podcast on rocket science. That podcast is called Spacecast, where I talk about rocket science and technology. On my Ashish Ranjan channel, I talk about a lot of things about space technology. I keep on studying. I love that. That is the reason why I got over there for the first place. But the thing is that I want independence and I want other skills as well. So that's the thing. You have to be uncomfortable, uncomfortable as well. Clear? All right. It is almost time that we are going to end this seminar, but your questions are most welcome to me. Ask your questions. Yes.
If you hear anything about like a private space agency is also started in India, I think.
Yeah, see, private space agencies were more than necessary. It should have started in India a long time ago. It started in United States.
It's a private company and it has got more, means it has helped NASA.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, true. Now, these days, NASA is actually dependent on SpaceX. So, Americans launched a lot of astronauts into the orbit and they established the ISS, that is International Space Station, which is very, very important for space research. A lot of astronauts go over there from throughout the world. But they had space shuttle for that. Space shuttle could take astronauts into the orbit. They can place it in there. They placed Hubble telescope using that. So NASA was having their own astronaut launching program. But what happened, space shuttle retired over time because of the two big mishappenings. One happened in 1980s because of the failure of solid boosters, and the second happened, which I think all of you guys might be very aware of, the Kalpana Chawla incident. Yes. So after that also, NASA being the organization it is, it did close to like 10 more missions with astronauts, did 10 successful missions. But then the space shuttle retired. And then now NASA is essentially dependent on the Russians to send their astronauts to the orbit. They used the Soyuz capsule, and there were a lot of American astronauts who went into the orbit using the Russian launch vehicle. And Russian launch vehicle of Soyuz is super robust. It is like one of the best launch vehicles ever created, always keeping the astronauts very safe. But America wanted their own, and thus they started investing. They started doing a competition actually. There was a competition between Boeing and SpaceX, and that competition Elon Musk actually won, and because of that he got the contract. And his story, my god, if you really want to study what is risk and how much of risk a person can actually take, go and study.
When he lost his wife.
Sorry?
When he lost his wife.
As far as what I know, I'd never dabble into the personal matters, but as far as what I know, it is his third marriage.
Was for buying 2 rockets from NASA.
Okay, so what, he sold his wife or what?
No, seeing that stupid thought.
Okay, I don't really know because I've never got into that, but I know that he has been married 3 times. But whatever, losing a wife is not that important, but he almost lost the company. He was nuts when it comes to risk taking. He started a company, worked well, started another company, worked well, and then put all the money in 3 companies. All of the 3 can be arguably the most risk-taking companies. One is a space organization, another is electric cars. That is now it is very well known, and a lot of companies like Polestar and Audi all are getting into electric vehicles. But at that time, everyone was laughing at him. And the third one is Boring company. And space organization also is so risky. One of the first when it is coming to the private sector of space organization, we all know that it is very difficult to create profit when it comes to space organization because it requires huge amount of investment, because the research itself is going to be very long and it is going to involve very good scientists. But he did it, and then he got hit by the worst things that can happen, the 2008 recession. But he dealt with it. And what is the news currently going on?
He's the richest man of the world.
What is his worth?
What I don't know.
$195 billion. So it all worked out for him as well. A lot of people might be saying that you made a mistake in 2001, 2002, and now they're saying that Elon Musk is the best, right? I'm happy that a person like that is the richest person of this world. Coming to your question, the private organizations of India, that is a lot of private organizations are brimming up. One is Agnishul, which is working on the semi-cryo engines, and another one is Skyroot. I'm sure that a lot more is also going to come up in future. There are a lot of private organizations dealing with satellites also. These two that I talked about, they were mainly focused towards the launch vehicle, and they are doing pretty well. India needs that. India needs that just like America needed it. They are good in making the process quick because it is run by a single person and it's not a mammoth organization. Mammoth organizations are big. Elephant is not going to be as fast as the horse, obviously, right? But the horse is not going to be as big as the elephant. Horse and elephant needs to work simultaneously to make things happen properly. Correct. So I'm very happy about that. It is also going to open a lot of job opportunities in future. Matter of fact, some of my friends in ISRO were thinking about getting into Skyroot. They were getting call letters, so obviously they are having vacancies. I heard that they have recruited a lot of engineers from IITs, so they are doing a tremendously good job. And above all, a lot of the founding members of Skyroot are actually former ISRO scientists. Okay, so I'm happy for them. And same goes with Agnikul, I think. Yeah, Agnikul, not Agnishul. I always mess it up. But they are doing great job when it comes to semi-cryo engines. ISRO has always been struggling with semi-cryo engines. And I think that they are going to be the first to create and develop it. That was another thing about United States also. United States launched all their launch vehicles in NASA using the cryo engines. Even the ULA, that is the United Launch Alliance, is still launching a lot of their launch vehicles using the cryo engines. Here's how it goes, that the Russian became better at semi-cryo engine, the Americans became better at cryo engines, and then Elon Musk comes and essentially what he's having is a semi-cryo engine, right? So he brought the technology over there as well. And other than that, what I was saying is that maybe Agnikul can do that, and they are doing it in fantastic ways, like using 3D printing and all those technology, all right? So that is also good. Meanwhile, ISRO also works in semi-cryo engine. They are working on it to make their heavy lift launch vehicles ready to launch like 10 ton load, 20 ton load in future maybe. And we are waiting for that. It is always going to be beneficial for the country and the young engineers and scientists of the nation if private sectors are opening up. Any more questions? Yes, anyone who is having some question? No questions? I would like to thank the people who organized this seminar, everyone who are organizing this TAKSHAK. It is a brilliant program. You guys are having a good amount of audience. You guys are doing great job, and it is all professional. Very good job done. Even the email that I got was very, very professional. I got like dozens of email on a daily basis, but your email standed out, and I thought that, wow, the idea is good. These kids are working hard and they want me to be over there for a reason. It should not be like a lot of people call me just because I'm having a following so that they get a following. That does not fascinate me a lot. But you guys wanted me to be over here because your idea was matching with my life story. And again, ending with the idea of your whole seminar or your event that is going on, that is Ctrl Z, that is undo. It is never wrong, or it can never be questioned if you want to take a step backward. We make mistakes. Humans make mistakes all the time. That is what we are known for. Never shy away from that. The sad part is that we are too afraid to admit that we messed up. Everyone makes mistake. Maybe you took a wrong decision, but it's time to step up, take a step back and take another decision. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe a lot of you guys got into engineering just because the world told you that you want to become an engineer. I'm not going to tell you all to drop out of engineering colleges, don't worry. But there are a lot of engineers who graduated as an engineer, ended up doing something which is not related to engineering, which is also something that I'm doing, which is not connected to any of the degrees that I've earned. I have only one degree in soft skills, that is by Dale Carnegie, and that is not the primary course that I did. That was just a 3 days course. But I believe that degrees are not going to be that much important for your life. What is going to be important is the skill that you develop. And that skill, my friends, you are always open to develop. Keep on working on that. And if you want to change the part, if you want to change the career, then sure, go ahead, do that. Accept that you made a mistake. Or if you want to believe that you have taken the right decisions, then stick to it and see it through the end. And always remember, whatever you start, you have to finish it. I started in 2012 believing that I love mechanical engineering. I want to do it for the rest of my life. Trust me, that is what I thought at that point. And I did it. God damn, I did it. I became scientist of two of the biggest research organizations of this country. I have left it right now, but you cannot deny the fact that two of the organizations believed that I can become a scientist in nuclear science and engineering, and I can also become a scientist in rocket science, right? So I reached that level of mechanical engineering because I firmly believed that this is what I wanted to do. And then I believed that this is something else that I want to do, and I'm doing that. So that is another thing that you should keep in your mind, that goals always change. And there are a lot of garbage being thrown around by people who have done nothing. They are telling how the world works by listening to other people, and partial knowledge is always going to be dangerous, and corrupted knowledge is going to be much more dangerous. So minority is the ones that you should listen to. Majority is the ones who are trapped in the rat race. Okay guys, so with those fine words, I'm going to end this seminar from my side. Whoever are the organizing member, I see Hiba is always also over here, so you can take over from now on.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to express gratitude to our speaker for a wonderful session. It truly was very useful. It was an inspiration to hear your story, and thank you so much for sharing it with us and for telling us that sometimes a leap of faith can change everything for the better when you have the right attitude. Thank you so much to everyone for attending the session. I hope it was as enjoyable for everyone here as it was informative. We hope you all have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Parvati. Thank you for the kind words, and it was a pleasure being over here. Maybe we are going to do it again. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this fantastic session.
Yeah, thank you, Eva, for approaching out, and it was a pleasure being here.
Sir, for this kind of wonderful session. I like it very much, sir.
Pleasure all mine, guys. All of you guys are most welcome. I had a great time. A good talk cannot be successful without a good audience. Thank you for your patient ears, and see you next time.